What's going on, everybody? These are my Week 5 NFL fantasy football rankings. Let's go on to the quarterbacks. Uh, Trey Lance is the guy I wanted to really talk about here. Right now, I got him ranked at 16, right ahead of Trevor Lawrence, just ahead of Ryan Tannehill. And I'd like to put him a little higher, and I have tremendous confidence in Trey Lance. It's just that you don't want to start him over for sure elite players. You don't want to start him over great matchups. Like, I guess Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow might be worth considering starting over him. Let's move up Aaron Rodgers, actually. Much more trustworthy with Aaron Rodgers. And I like him right around here. Maybe even ahead of Herbert. He could be top 10-ish. So I am starting Trey Lance in one league. It's one of my worst leagues as far as my team. One of my worst teams. I have Ryan Tannehill. So, yeah, he's just not worth a start in a 1 QB league, except if you're in a desperate situation like I am in that one league with Ryan Tannehill. Other than that, I really like him. Like I said, I have tremendous confidence in him. I think he's going to put up at least 20 points. If you look at these rookie quarterbacks, he's absolutely crushed all of them. He puts up so many points per snap that it's insane. And I know there's a lot of criticism with him, and people just don't like him, and he's not ready, and this and that. But this is the real truth. Defenses fear him. He is very difficult to defend. Whatever hesitation or inexperience Trey Lance has, it's magnified more on the defensive side. They're even more hesitant. They're even more scared, and they don't have any experience defending Trey Lance, who's similar to guys like Lamar Jackson or Cam Newton or Josh Allen. Definitely not the passer that Josh Allen is this year and last year. But these are just some comparisons to Trey Lance. It's going to be very difficult to defend him. He might make some mistakes, and the Cardinals D could capitalize on some big plays with him. But other than that, I like him. I just going to temper expectations a little bit. Sure, he could be pushing top 12, top 10. But let's start some guys that are a little bit more reliable. So I guess even though I'm probably Trey Lance's biggest fan and I push him the hardest, guess I have him ranked 2 spots below the consensus, which is very surprising to me. I didn't expect that to happen, but this Packers Bengals game, there should be a lot of good passing, and then the Giants Cowboys game slated to be a high scoring game as well. So we're starting Daniel Jones, we're starting Joe Burrow, and I guess we're even starting Sam Darnold, who's a good quarterback this year, ahead of him. And, yeah, I mean, you could start Trey Lance over Kirk Cousins. That's definitely worth considering. But against the Lions, Kirk Cousins just has a much, much higher floor. So I think that's the main topic when it comes to quarterback rankings this week. I think that about covers it. These top 8 guys here, really, like, you can rank them however you want. Josh Allen definitely could be QB1. Kyler Murray could be top 2. Patrick Mahomes could fall all the way to 3. Really have no strong feeling or conviction one way or another where you're ranking these top 8 guys for me. All right, let's move on to running backs. And we have some similar situations here with Damian Williams is the ultimate starter. He's sliding into my top 10 role right here going against the Raiders. And what to do with Alex Collins. So Chris Carson has a serious neck injury, and it's not going to go away in 1 week. It's probably not going to go away in 4 weeks either. So we can expect Chris Carson to miss multiple games. It's a tricky injury. So technically he could miss 0 games, and he could miss the entire season. It's pretty bad. And we've seen a similar injury with T.Y. Hilton, I think, and we've seen what's happened with him. And we'll see if Chris Carson gets surgery for the neck or not. But as of now, as I'm recording this, the injury report has not came out for Thursday Night Football. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that Chris Carson will not play. Therefore, Alex Collins is boosted into this role right here. These guys are basically tied. And I guess that makes Alex Collins a mid RB2, maybe even high-end RB2. You know, Dalvin Cook might not play, but I love Madison if Dalvin Cook doesn't play. So, yeah, let's just say a high-end RB2-ish around there. Mid-end. I know that's not a word. Mid-end RB2-ish. Tied with Chase Edmonds. So, that means that you probably want to start him. Make sure that you do not start Thursday night players in the flex position. Okay, so make sure you start. If you do start Alex Collins, start him at RB. Do not start him at flex. This is the reason why. I've said it a million times. So I don't want to just keep repeating myself. Just trust me. Do not start players that play early in the flex. Start players that play the absolute latest at flex. It just gives you more flexibility in case there's an emergency late scratch. Elijah Mitchell, the Niners, they don't communicate anything to me, but they're communicating in other ways by releasing guys like Kerryon Johnson and Chris Thompson that Eli Mitchell is gonna play. I don't know anything. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. That's what I think they're telling me. Are they telling me anything? I don't know. That's what I think. I think Eli Mitchell's going to play. I've been on the Eli Mitchell hype train. But, yeah, it's not been working out well. Even without the injuries, it's even more question marks now than there was before. I still like him. I'm ranking him pretty high, but just outside the top 24 RBs, unfortunately. We got Michael Carter. That's a great desperate play right there. And Calvin Ridley is out for the game in London, Falcons versus Jets. So that boosts guys like Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts, which we'll see on the tight end rankings. Should we put Chubb higher? I mean, yeah, Kareem Hunt's really killing Chubb's value. I think we got to rank him one spot higher. Terrible matchup for Gibson. One spot higher is very fair. I mean, we could rank him around 9 or 8 or even 7. I wouldn't rank him ahead of any of these top 6 guys, that's for sure. But Chubb could be as high as Najee Harris. Yeah, man, there's really not much separating Chubb and Najee, but I don't know. If you got Chubb, you're starting him anyways, except if you're in like a 4-team league. He's a first-round draft pick. You're starting him. I think this is very fair. This is a very fair ranking for Chubb. And yeah, Aaron Jones, man, this week. Wow. Could AJ, every year the backup running back for the Packers outscores Aaron Jones. Like two times. I gotta look this. I'm sorry, but it's like 2 times, right? 1, 2, or 3 times. I don't think we'll see it here. But that would be crazy if AJ Dillon did outscore Aaron Jones. I don't see it. Aaron Jones just so much more dynamic. I guess that would have to be if the Packers are up by 4 touchdowns. That would be the case. Don't quite see it here. AJ Dillon still a little inexperienced. Still not an amazing pass catcher quite yet. He looks good catching the ball, but I don't think they don't trust him as a pass catcher, and I think that's rightfully so. They need to ease him into that role. But whatever. Packers running back should absolutely go off against the Bengals, and MVS is out, by the way. I think he's going to be out like 3 weeks. He's on the short-term IR, I believe. And Ezekiel Elliott showed up on the injury report. Keep that in mind. So if he is out, Tony Pollard becomes a top 5 running back. Tony Pollard's going to be on the same level as Saquon, Eckler, maybe even Kamara. I mean, I think he could put up way more points than Alvin Kamara easily. Like, Tony Pollard could be a top 2 running back. Like, he could be up here with Aaron Jones if Zeke were out. Now, I think Zeke's going to be just fine, but it's something to definitely monitor. It's going to impact a lot of players. Tony Pollard, Dak, it's a lot. It's a lot to process, right? It's definitely something that you got to keep a close eye on, just in case. So I'm recording this Thursday. Let's keep tabs on the practice participation levels on Friday for Zeke. Moving on to wide receivers. What do we got here? DeAndre Hopkins. Now, if he were 100%, this is where I'd rank him. I just got a gut feeling he's going to absolutely ball out against the Niners. He doesn't need his speed to win against the Niners pass coverage. And I'll just leave him here. I mean, the lowest I can put him would be wide receiver 6 or 7, right below Justin Jefferson. But I'm going to leave him there. I got a gut feeling like DeAndre Hopkins is going to absolutely torch my Niners. Not necessarily with speed, but in terms of fantasy points. I just don't see this man putting up less than 20 fantasy points this week. And was there anything else? Well, Calvin Ridley, he's out. So I guess Zacchaeus would be the wide receiver 1. We're going to see a lot of Hayden Hurst, Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts. For sure, we're going to see a lot of those guys. Yeah, I got Jacoby Myers ranked extremely high. I don't know. Actually, we want Boyd ahead of Myers. I'd even put Boyd I'd put Boyd right here. And then, yeah. That makes a lot more sense. Let's move Kenny Golladay down right here. And gosh, Allen Robinson's shaping out to be one of the biggest wide receiver busts for sure. That's a shocker. I think Corey Davis. Oh man. All right, so we've just been moving him down. I still love Jacoby Myers though. He's still a start for me. Definitely ahead of Kenny G. But yeah, I just can't bench these guys. I can't do it. I think Marvin Jones is going to absolutely go off. The writing's on the wall. Touchdowns, targets, receptions, yards. He should get it all against the Titans this week. Tight ends. Okay. Let's do it, baby. Kyle Pitts, top 3 tight end. Let's go. It's either now or never for Kyle Pitts. Breakout game, Kyle Pitts. If it ain't coming this week, it's never coming, baby. Calvin Ridley's out. They're playing in London. And oh boy, get your tea ready, get your crumpets ready, turn the telly on, because it's gonna be an absolute target show. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm starting Kyle Pitts, and I love George Kittle too. I think right now George Kittle's stock and his perception is at an all-time low. Everyone's literally saying sell high. I mean, oh no, no one's saying that. I'm saying everyone's panicking on George Kittle and trying to sell him. I know that because I get a lot of DMs and tweets and comments, and the Patreon messages. Everyone's asking about George Kittle. Like, it's crazy. They're trying to package him. They're trying to sell him. So I would try to buy George Kittle. Like, did you guys watch Jimmy G? Like, let's face it. He's absolute garbage. Okay. It's just the truth. I don't want to say that. I don't like saying that. I'm not rooting against Jimmy G. It doesn't help my Niners that the quarterback room takes a hit if what I'm saying is true. But he's trash. So people thinking, oh, Trey Lance, he's going to run and George Kittle's going to block, this and that. All right. What does Kyle Shanahan do? He goes like this and then he goes the other way, right? So you don't know what Shanahan's going to do. Your assumptions are nothing. You guys make fun of me for my Niner assumptions, and I mean, you guys are valid. Like, who knows what the Niners are going to do? So everyone's assuming that Kittle's just going to block and this quarterback change sucks and Kittle just sucks this year. And that might not be the case, guys. That might not be the case. No one's dying to start Ayuk. No one's even dying to start a Niners running back or Niners fullback. No one's dying to start Sanu. Trent Sherfield's really out of the mix. There's really not too many other options other than Debo on this offense. Watch out. If the offense moves, George Kittle will move. Well, I've already said this. This has already been established. I liked Waller more than Kittle when you guys were drafting before the season started. I said he'd get more targets. I already told you Kittle will have 2, 3, or 4 games where he's just asked to block. That's still going to happen. Nothing has changed. I'm still just as high on Kittle as I was before, and that's the thing. I got it right, and he's doing a little bit worse than I thought, he would, but the season is still young. We just saw a new quarterback change, and guess what? Kittle's been getting more and more and more targets every single week. Ayuk, bust. Sanu is boo-boo. Sherfield out the mix. Do we have the best, the greatest pass catching backs? No. There's really not too many other options here. Don't panic sell George Kittle. Don't do it. It is stupid. Please don't panic sell George Kittle. If you sell high, I have no problem with that. Every trade, right? Every single trade, it's case by case, right? No trade is the same as the other. No, you can't make one blanket statement and that'll just cover it all. But as of right now, what I've been seeing, it's all panic selling. It's all packaging Kittle to get rid of him. I'd rather buy him right now. I mean, you can get George Kittle for dirt cheap. I mean, shoot, send Melvin Gordon for George Kittle. I bet you somebody would take that. Not most people wouldn't, but I bet you somebody would bite on some crazy madness trade like that. And we'll see. I think George Kittle's going to ball out this week. Tight ends are impossible to predict, but I think he's going to be great. Let's see how this offense is with Trey Lance. Trey Lance, for the first time ever, is taking all the first team reps. He's preparing. He knows he's going to start. We all believe he's going to start. Jimmy G has a chance to play this week. Nobody believes that. So we'll just assume that Trey Lance is going to start. Jimmy G, today's Thursday. Jimmy G did not practice today. And, I know this is like all about the Niners, and it's not because that's my favorite team. I think that's the biggest topic this week. I mean, this was the best rookie wide receiver, quarterback class, and then, now the season started, it's looking like it's not so far. I mean, obviously, it's, these guys are young, and they're probably going to get way better, and it's going to probably be a great class. But as of right now, as far as fantasy goes, these rookie quarterbacks are not getting it done, except for Trey Lance, who's absolutely crushing it as far as fantasy points go. So let's see. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. I mean, you're really banking on George Kittle being a huge bust based on the 3.5 games that Jimmy G played? How good is Jimmy? You starting Jimmy G in your lineups? You got faith in Jimmy G? You ranking Jimmy G as a top 15 real-life quarterback? Is he better than Derek Carr? Right? Is he better than Kirk Cousins? Heck, is he better than Sam Darnold? Hell no. Hell no. Not even close. Is Jimmy G a top 20 quarterback? Just judging off this year. Probably not. Probably top 25-ish. Come on, that's terrible, man. That's terrible. I mean, he could be better than Baker Mayfield. That Teddy Bridgewater's better than him. It's bad, man. And so let's see how Kittle does with Trey Lance. If this offense is the defense is going to be not one step behind. If Trey Lance can execute the offense decently, it's not going to be one. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 steps behind. Shannon's going to be hitting them left, right, up, down. They're not even going to know where it's coming from. George Kittle, easy touchdown. Debo, easy touchdown. Trey Lance, easy walk-in touchdown. Right? So don't panic sell on George Kittle. I just wanted to make that clear. Don't do it. I think the main concern I got with Kittle is injuries. That's it. Like, don't sell low. I love Higbee. Should be a high scoring game. Thursday Night Football. Noah Fant, not the best matchup, but he should get targets regardless who's starting at quarterback. Dalton Schultz, excellent matchup, should do good. Dawson Knox, this is a good game script, should get some targets for sure. Yeah, good matchup as well. I love Evan Ingram, but I got to try to temper expectations. I can't rank him too high. Cameron Brate did nothing, but he's got a ton of targets. I mean, I think like it seemed like every pass was to Cameron Brate against the Patriots. Robert Tonyan, let's just, it's the same story as last year. No targets, touchdown dependent, piece of poop. Anything special? Cole Kmet's very depressing. That's about it. Ooh, what's this? Max Williams. What are you doing down here? Let's put you up at least here. Yeah, that's not bad. I feel like that's okay. I'm probably still have him too low, but that's okay. And I don't expect Logan Thomas to play, by the way. Washington tight end. Patriots are my number one defense. I'm very bullish on the Vikings D, as you can tell, but really any of these defenses will do well. I feel like these top 5 right here. I'm actually giving Washington defense another chance. I know everyone's down on them, everyone's dropped them, everyone's benching them. I think it's okay to start them against the Saints. Now I got the Saints winning this game, and I'd rather go with the Saints defense, but I think Washington D could really redeem themselves with this game here. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for them. It could be a low-scoring game. We saw Kamara get stopped just recently, so we'll see how they do. Who else is a good? Well, I covered all these in the waiver wire video. Who's good to stream and whatnot. Stephon Gilmore's not playing for the Panthers just yet, but week 7 or 8 should be making his debut pretty soon here in a couple weeks. So keep tabs on that. Could be an elite defense. We're smelling top 5 defense with the Panthers once Gilmore is healthy and ready to go. And for kickers, I got Justin Tucker and Nick Folk. I absolutely love. Now Nick Folk is questionable technically, but that's the Patriots way. I think he'll be just fine, but just keep tabs on that. And there's really not a big difference between Nick Folk and Matt Gay, maybe even Blankenship. Right, or yeah, there's really not a big difference between number 2 and number 9. Love McPherson going against the Packers. Same game. I love Mason Crosby going against the Bengals. Matt Prater should be solid. This could be Younghoe Koo. This is bound to be Younghoe Koo's best game easily. And so if he's a free agent, you can add him, start him this week. Might have to drop him after this week, but most people have drafted him and have him, and this week at least you'll feel confident starting him. I think he might go off. Like we're talking 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 fantasy points possibly for Younghoe Koo. These things are not easy to predict, but what we can predict is opportunities. And there should be a lot of opportunities going against the Jets here. Just got to move the ball. The Falcons offense needs to move the ball, not make too many big mistakes, and they should be fine. Now, just looking at this top 10, top 15 list of kickers, you should be able to easily find a kicker to stream. Like this is like none of these kickers are rostered in a lot of leagues. Like Greg Joseph's not rostered. Who else? Randy Bullock's not rostered. Like, should be able to get one of these guys. And Nick Folk, I got for free in every single league, and he's still on waivers in some leagues, so it should be easy to stream a kicker if you need to. I don't see Younghoe Koo being dropped too often, but if he is, that's another really good kicker this week. I mean, I could really rank this guy up at 3. So yeah, that's right. I am the Younghoe Koo hater this year. I was right about him. I don't personally hate any player. Just saying Younghoe Koo. I had him as an overvalued kicker, overdrafted kicker, and I hit that, I was dead on that one. But this week is the opposite. This is the 1 week where you can start him with full confidence. Fire up Younghoe Koo, baby. All right, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. And we have a second YouTube channel. We're going to go live every single Thursday night right after the game on there. It's called Fantasy Couch Podcast. Please, please, please subscribe to that YouTube channel as well. Smash the thumbs up. Drop your fantasy football questions down below in the YouTube comments. I read every single YouTube comment. Good luck this week. Let's get that W, baby.